I'm very much of the belief that by working through networks, we can have more impact, we can have greater influence. Many different civil society organisations went to the conference in Kobe in Japan in 2005. We all had our own agendas with no real common ground, no consensus. Over the course of the Kobe conference, there was a recognition that actually civil society would be more effective if we agreed a common position. What were the top 10 issues that we felt needed to be negotiated into the Hyogo framework itself?
I remember the time when there was not such a Hyogo framework, and then everyone was saying it would be helpful if DRR was developed in some kind of a framework. It was seen as a major step forward.
We need some kind of infrastructure to help us communicate together so that when we do go to these global or international gatherings, we've already reached consensus. And that really was the genesis of the global network.
To have a bigger critical mass of NGOs who could do more effective advocacy and lobbying.
We were invited by UNISDR if we would support their monitoring process of the Hyogo framework. When we learned more, it was clear that it was very much a top-down perspective, looking through the national government's eyes as to where they felt progress was made in the Hyogo framework.
It was still very much a framework for DR at the governmental and global level.
We argued that if the Hyogo framework is to become a reality, it has to bring about systematic change at the local level to see if there's evidence of change in that interface between local governments and local authorities. It became known as Views from the Frontline.
There were meant to be only 5 countries involved, but as I joined the network, about 40 countries had signed up.
We couldn't have done this a generation ago because we didn't have the technology like the Skype that we're using now. It was coming of age, this ability to build global networks.
I requested what are the criteria that we can be the member. Marcus sent the forms, we filled up, the same night we got confirmation. In risk reduction initiatives, we are never slow. Disaster is increasing every day.
And the impact of disasters are increasing year by year. Some communities suffer at the rainy season the very same impact.
We live in a group of islands. Environmentally, we are very fragile. The highest elevation being just 1 meter above sea level. Before 2004 tsunami, we have never even heard of the word DRR. Like we human beings, when something happens, we just react into it. We slowly just forget about everything.
No one is really worried about DRR until a cyclone hits. They're not really aware yet at high level. DRR is in fact saving them money.
Jordan is trying hard, but it's still an issue in the hands of the government. As usually government reacts, it does not act. When you talk about disasters and risk, you need to involve every single person. I think they are not aware and they are ignored.
There are now many policies introducing risk management, but it's only in policies. Keeps in the paper and doesn't get to the field. There is the need to have methodologies to make risk assessment, but at the local level.
When I heard of TFL talking about DRR at the grassroots level, I was really interested, and that's why I got involved.
We thought that VFL could be one door which we could go in and show the international community that Maldives still need funding to conduct DRR programs.
The lesson for us was the revelation that came through the face-to-face surveys, being able to interact with people one-on-one, getting their feelings, learning as you were administering the survey. That was particularly touching.
There was a sense of excitement, but also a sense of urgency, and how on earth are we going to do all the work that's involved in VFL in the short period of time we had.
It was difficult to get to all the places they wanted to.
We got a little time to do everything, like in the beginning, the training, the surveys and everything. We're just crawling in DRR. We just have to learn a lot.
provides a rare opportunity for communities around the world to join hands and have one voice for DRR issues that affect them, to shape the way forward.
We are always positive to do any cooperation.
When I go to a national forum in Vietnam and to say international survey in 60 countries, it contributes to make our opinion and our evaluation more important.
Impact has been increased awareness and acceptability of disaster risk at the national level. We are now being seen as being more serious.
The government accepting us is a major progress.
We're really now having a much higher impact. And so what we are doing is go all the way down to the civil society and then spread.
Many people didn't know that these policies exist.
People have to know about all these things. What should they do if there is another tsunami warning? Where do they go to?
Community has taken up the responsibility. Community-based, owned, leaded, and community-managed.
When we were showing the video, it was incredible. People were in silence. Okay, it is possible.
The challenges is continuation.
How you monitor these advances that have been made?
To make people understand that we are doing something voluntarily to contribute to the national process.
Thanks to that report, there is now a face, a recognition, and an understanding of what you represent. You have clearly moved the agenda forward, and that's an achievement, and it also generates a bit of responsibility.
When they looked at the findings, they were saying we have to keep going, start mainstreaming this.
Continuous learning, enhancing our skills and capacity. Future of the next VFL will determine the actual progress.
It's almost as if it's just starting. There have been so many ideas and suggestions as we've chatted. I've got no idea how we can choose between them and shape a strategy for the next 3 years. Well, that's what we're going to do over the period up to March 2012. That's going to be a very exciting time.
Work together at a regional level. It will be easier to approach funders. Together we are going to do this program. I think it has more value in it, more weight in it.
Capacity building is one cardinal project that GNDR should
always come out of these meetings with new energy. I discovered things that I would never have thought.
Not only to talking, but we do what we say.
Partners, more countries, more people, more organizations involved.
Disaster risk reduction, a cross-cutting issue that touches everything in our life.
Many of the problems that we're dealing with in disasters are actually the same root problems that people in the climate community are dealing with. There's a bigger global picture here.
Linking disaster resilience to the climate change.
Because there is no end of development.
Which links with other factors that are considered over priority.
To make a common policy, to name one.
I'm proud of being part of this network.
We have to keep moving. I'm looking forward.
This is a living network.